Newsroom, investigative journalist Kimberly Dvorak. Kimberly, this kill list, disproportionate number of people in California and in Florida. In fact, 8,000. Yeah. 8,000 in all Americans are on this list. And again, mostly California, mostly Florida. Is that simply because of the larger populations in those states, or is there another more nefarious reason?
Well, the list was actually released by the United Cyber Caliphate, and they probably chose California and Florida because we have very liberal immigration rules, and we don't have a lot of officials that are following and enforcing laws like you have in Arizona, like Sheriff Joe Arpaio. So you're looking at, certainly there are more numbers, but you're also seeing large numbers of immigrant communities when they come to this country, whether it's lawfully or unlawfully. This is where they end up. This is where they're going to get the best benefits, would be in Florida and or California.
Okay, so we know the numbers. How come we don't know the names? Are they out there somewhere? Do they exist somewhere, some list? Because here's my point. Here's the reason I want to know. I want to know if I'm on the list. I want to know if my family's on the list. We have a right to know if we're on some sort of hit list, so we can take proper preparations to protect ourselves.
Well, members of the military have assured me that if there's anybody that they have seen that's on a list, whether it be the wives of service members or whether it just be, family, friends, that they have notified them, and they've also told service members to stay off of social media. And like inviting their buddies over for barbecues and things of that nature. This has been going on for the past several months now, and we're just starting to hear about it, I think, especially since we had this terrorist attack in Orlando. So when you look at the situation, it's been kind of ongoing, but it's certainly alarming. And other things that you're looking at on this would be first responders. So those are important people that there's a crisis, we turn to them first.
Could be anybody. Could be some person on TV who happens to espouse the truth about Islam, for example. Yeah. Now, the United Cyber Caliphate, you quoted them just a couple of minutes ago there. Apparently, they're the ones who put this thing out there, and they got the information by hacking into CENTCOM, Central Command. That would be a United States government database, and they pulled out names or information, also addresses. That's apparently on this list as well. So this tells us that we are not winning the cyber side of the war against terrorism, and it's very scary. And that folds in a guy named Guciffer. Am I pronouncing his name correct? Guciffer.
Yes.
And he's the guy who was extradited to the United States, who says and boasts that he hacked into Hillary's email account. You were in court when he was testifying, or the trial was going on.
Yeah.
What do you know about this guy? Do you believe him? Do you think he hacked her account?
There were a couple takeaways from the courtroom. There were probably about 10 journalists in the courtroom. This is something dealing with a presidential candidate who will most likely be the Democratic nominee for president. 10 journalists in the courtroom. But what happened, I thought that was even more interesting, is way back, maybe 2 years ago, how we learned about this was there was a story in The Smoking Gun, which is an online kind of a gossip type website, but they posted that Guciffer had sold them the information as to Hillary's email and what her email address was and whatnot. In court, the judge referred to that story, so we got confirmation that that reporting was 100% accurate. And what we also learned is that the FBI brought Guciffer to this country, extradited him while he's serving a prison sentence for hacking into the KGB's emails over in Russia, and the FBI here has brought him back here, and they're planning on using him, and he's most likely going to be helping them fight the terrorists who are computer hackers, because he has that inside information, has that knowledge.
Well, that's great, but when it comes to Hillary and her private email server, the Clinton email, it's a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Because
well,
the fact is, he or somebody else may have hacked into that account and exposed CIA operatives, or, for example, may have been in on what happened in Benghazi and the communications that were going back and forth, the armament shipments that were being sent from Libya into Turkey into Syria, right?
Yeah, and presumably those 30,000 emails that talked about her daughter's wedding and her yoga classes, those presumably are probably in the possession of someone out there that this Guciffer character actually sold it to.
Right.
Now, he's working with the FBI so he gets a lesser sentence and he gets to serve his time concurrently. Nobody has said whether he'll remain in this country. He's going to get anywhere from 2 to 7 years in jail, most likely closer to 2, because he's going to go and most likely work for the FBI and help them out. And this is what we need in the cyber war. When you talk to people out there that have access to NSA and that, we are not winning the cyber war right now, and we need to invest. A lot of our dollars need to be invested in this, because this is going to be the new war out there. They can hit a power plant and knock the lights out and shut an entire city down in the blink of an eye. So this is the new warfare out there, and this is something that whoever the new president is going to have to face, and we're going to have to work with characters like this, unfortunately.
Yeah, and let's face it, right now we are not winning the cyber end of the war. We're not winning the PR end of the war. We're not winning the physical war. And we need to win all three. We need to win and beat back the terrorists. Kim, thanks.